Okay, picture this. You're in the Brazilian landscape, and there's this creature, like the size of a dice, black and white, just darting around.
Sounds pretty normal so far.
Right. But here's the thing. It's so black that it practically vanishes. Like, poof. It's almost like a magic trick.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. That New York Times article, right?
Yeah.
About those sorcerer ants.
Exactly. That article was wild.
And the crazy part is those sorcerer ants, well, they're not ants at all. They're wasps. Velvet ants, to be precise. And those markings, they're not just regular black.
Oh, okay. So what are we talking about here? Like a super black?
Exactly. Ultra black. It's the kind of black that absorbs almost all light.
When I think black, I think a crow's feather.
Yeah, I get that, but think of it this way. A crow's feather might absorb, say, 95% of light. This velvet ant, it's reflecting less than 1%.
Wow, less than 1%. That's insane.
It is. It puts this wasp in a totally different category, one that's incredibly rare to find in the animal kingdom. In fact, this is actually the first time scientists have found this trait in an insect from the Hymenoptera order.
And remind me what that order includes.
All the bees, wasps, and ants.
Oh, right. So this little wasp is breaking some serious records in the darkness department. But how does it even work? Is it like a supercharged pigment or something?
Not quite. It's less about the pigment itself and more about the structure. Imagine microscopic structures all over the ant's body, so complex that they essentially trap light.
So the light goes in and then what? Just gets lost in there.
It bounces around within those structures, but almost none of it escapes. That's what creates that intense ultra-black look.
Okay, that is seriously cool. So where does this velvet ant rank among other ultra-black things in nature?
It's actually darker than the birdwing butterfly.
And that was...
That was the only other insect that was known to have this ultra-black feature. This velvet ant takes the cake, though.
So are there any other examples of something this black in nature?
Yeah, it's more comparable to the kind of ultra-black you'd see in birds of paradise or even peacock spiders.
You know, I remember seeing a documentary about birds of paradise. Their feathers were so black, it was like looking into like a void or something.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. But going back to the velvet ant, what's really fascinating is the structure of its exoskeleton. Researchers took a closer look, and they found this amazing combination of features.
Oh, so what did they see?
First, they noticed a super dense layer of hair covering the ant's body. But underneath that hair, there's these thin, stacked plates, almost like pages in a book.
And that's what gives it the ultra black.
It's that combination, the hairs and the plates, that creates the ultra black effect.
So the light bounces around the hairs and then gets trapped between those plates, like double the darkness.
Pretty much.
But I have to ask, why would a velvet ant even need to be this dark? Don't they have that super painful sting? It seems like they already have plenty of defense mechanisms.
You're not wrong. Velvet ants aren't exactly pushovers. They've got those tough exoskeletons, the sting you mentioned, and they can even make a warning screech when they're threatened.
Yeah, so it seems like they've got it all covered.
Exactly. That's what makes this ultra-black coloration so puzzling. Why evolve this trait on top of everything else?
I know, right? What kind of evolutionary pressure would lead to that?
Well, there's one more piece to this puzzle.
Oh, what's that?
This ultra-black is only found on the females.
Wait, seriously? Only the females?
Yeah. The males have similar black markings, but they're nowhere near as dark.
Now that is strange. Why would only the females need that extra level of camouflage?
It's a real mystery, and it's got scientists scratching their heads trying to figure out what's going on in the velvet ant's environment that would lead to this adaptation specifically in the females.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. It's like we stumbled onto an evolutionary puzzle. So where do we even begin to try and understand this?
There are a few paths we could explore. For example, one thought is that it could be related to thermoregulation.
Thermoregulation. So like controlling their body temperature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. It's all about maintaining that ideal body temperature. Think of it like this. Remember how the article mentioned those ultra-black markings also absorb pretty much all ultraviolet light?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, in those hot tropical and desert environments where these velvet ants hang out, UV radiation can be pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's possible that this ultra-black is like a built-in sunscreen, helping those females stay cool under the scorching sun.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's like they've got their own natural SPF built right into their exoskeleton. But, thinking back to those birds of paradise with their ultra-black feathers, don't they use their ultra-black for, like, showing off and attracting mates?
Yeah, they do.
So could something similar be happening here with the velvet ants?
That's a really interesting thought. Although in this case, it's probably less likely considering the males don't have those same ultra black markings. But you've hit on a really intriguing point.
Oh, what's that?
What if this ultra black serves a purpose beyond camouflage and temperature control?
Now that you mention it, yeah, it does seem a bit strange to think it would only be about blending in,
Hmm.
especially with all those other defenses they have. So what else could it be for?
Well, some researchers have a pretty fascinating theory.
Okay, I'm all ears.
They think it might actually be involved in communication.
Wait, hold on. How could being ultra black help them communicate? I'm not sure I'm following
Well,
you.
no, it sounds a little out there, right?
Yeah.
But remember, insects can see things we can't. They're incredibly sensitive to polarized light, which is something we humans can only perceive with, special equipment.
Oh, right, right.
So there's this possibility that the way this ultraviolet interacts with polarized light could be creating a visual signal that other velvet ants can pick up on.
But that we can't see.
Exactly. It'd be like a secret visual language totally invisible to us and other potential predators.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're saying it's like a hidden code embedded in their appearance.
Precisely. It could be conveying information about their species, whether they're male or female, or even like their reproductive status.
Okay, that is seriously mind-blowing. It's like a secret society of wasps communicating in ways we can't even begin to understand. But is there, like, any actual evidence to support this idea, or is it still purely speculation at this point?
It's definitely an area that needs a lot more research. Right now, it's more of a hypothesis based on, what we already know about how insects see and the crazy properties of ultra black.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a pretty promising avenue for future research, and I'm super curious to see what scientists are able to find out.
Me too. This whole deep dive started with us wondering why a wasp is so black, and now we're talking about secret insect languages.
I know, right?
It just goes to show you how even a simple question can send you down such an unexpectedly fascinating path.
Absolutely. And the coolest part is that this discovery, it has implications beyond just understanding velvet ants. There's a whole world of potential applications for ultra black materials in human technology.
Ooh, now you've really got my attention. What kind of applications are we talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, you've got to tell me more. What could this ultra black stuff do for us?
well, imagine if we could harness the power of a material that absorbs practically all light.
Yeah.
Think about solar panels, for instance.
Okay.
They could become so much more efficient if they were coated with an ultra black material.
Oh, so you're saying they'd be able to capture like almost all of the light that hits them.
Exactly. And that would mean a huge boost in energy production.
Wow. What else?
And cameras. Think about cameras that could capture incredibly sharp images, even in low light conditions, because there's minimal light reflection.
That would be amazing. Especially for astrophotography and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And those are just a couple of examples. There's so much potential here.
Okay, I'm officially on board. This is exciting stuff.
It is. And there's more. Researchers are looking into how to use similar structures to develop, like new kinds of camouflage.
Oh, wow. The possibilities are endless.
I know, right? Imagine camouflage that's practically invisible to the naked eye. And then there are anti-reflective coatings.
Anti-reflective coatings. Like for what?
For everything. Telescopes, eyeglasses, you name it. We could revolutionize so many industries with this technology.
And I bet those light-based sensors you mentioned earlier could be made way more sensitive using this tape.
Exactly. The potential applications are just mind-boggling.
It's incredible to think that all this could come from something as small and honestly kind of overlooked as a wasp.
It is, and it all started with someone simply noticing that these velvet ants were, well, unusually dark.
Right. It just goes to show you that even the smallest, most seemingly insignificant creatures can hold the secrets to some pretty groundbreaking breakthroughs.
That's the beauty of science in the natural world. There's always something new to learn, something amazing to discover.
I know. It really makes you wonder what other secrets are still out there just waiting for us to find them.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive for today.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
Keep exploring, keep your eyes open, and never underestimate the power of simple observation. You never know what incredible discoveries might be waiting for you, hidden in plain sight.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. And thanks to everyone listening out there. Until next time.